Greetings LEGO fans, and welcome to Retro LEGO, where we revisit and rank the sets in beloved LEGO themes from the past. Today we embark on a perilous journey to the tombs and ruins of ancient Egypt with 1998's landmark theme, Adventurers. Showing up in the twilight of LEGO's completely unlicensed era, this theme was LEGO's spin on archaeology epics like Indiana Jones. Even if you didn't grow up with the Adventurers theme, the iconic image of Johnny Thunder is one that has endured to this day. Beyond their initial desert-themed release, the Adventurers went on to spawn 3 additional sub-themes: Jungle, Dino Island, and Orient Expedition. We'll address these sequel sub-themes in future videos, but today we're focusing our attention on the sub-theme that started it all, Desert. So, grab your map and your pickaxe and let's dig in. For the purposes of this list, we're excluding the handful of little mini sets and polybags because, frankly, they're generally kinda terrible. I mean, what is that? But once I sorted through the duplicate set numbers and packaging variants, I wound up with 10 unique, complete sets in the Desert sub-theme. And coming in at number 10 is set number 2996, the Adventurer's Tomb. I've never technically owned this set, but I managed to cobble most of it together to show here. Originally retailing at $8 US, if there's one set in this theme I don't particularly care for, it's this one. The title suggests that you'll be getting a tomb, but you end up with basically a facade. The cartouche and Pharaoh's curse prints surrounding the entrance are very cool, but are by no means exclusive here. The best part of this set is definitely the minifigures. The first is the mysterious and formidable Pharaoh Hotep. This figure was absolutely ahead of its time. The elaborate printing on his headdress, torso, legs, and even toes is simply spectacular, and basically unheard of in 1998. In his hands, he wields the mystical Ray-Gao ruby, the MacGuffin of the series that will appear time and time again. This coveted gem is said to have great magical powers, and while both the good guys and bad guys are after it, Pharaoh Hotep is dead set on keeping it for himself. His face print is just plain sinister, with his thin red eyes and smirking expression. And speaking of sinister, the other minifigure included here is Lord Sam Sinister himself, leader of the conniving duo of grave robbers racing against Johnny Thunder and his team. Every epic adventure needs a mustache-twirling villain, and Sam Sinister absolutely fits the bill. One of my favorite elements of the Adventurer sets is the vehicles, but I don't think the one included in this set really counts. Need I say more? Due to its limited release, the Adventurer's Tomb is actually pretty hard to get your hands on, but in my opinion, it's not really one you should worry about. Anything I like about this set can already be found in greater abundance in the other sets on this list. For number 9, we'll take a break from the tombs and hit the skies with set number 5928, the Bi-Wing Baron. Hitting shelves at only $6, this is the way the bad guys do their aerial reconnaissance. The aircraft's design is modeled after a World War I biplane, and it delivers pretty well on that at first glance. However, upon further investigation, this set could have used some additional details, the most glaring omissions being these exposed hollow studs in the rear and any sort of controls for the pilot to use. Speaking of the pilot, the one minifigure included is Baron von Baron, Sam Sinister's right-hand man. And I mean that literally because he only has a right hand. In place of his left hand is a hook, which, combined with his handlebar mustache, monocle, and face scar, gives the Baron a truly menacing look. Now I know Sam Sinister is technically the leader of the bad guys, but in my own headcanon, the Baron is the one calling the shots. He's by far my preferred villain in the series, and it appears that LEGO agrees with me, because he eventually just stole Sam Sinister's name in future sub-themes. Now, one detail this plane certainly isn't missing is guns. There are 2 rifles mounted on the top and 2 on the side, assuring that whoever pilots this plane is unlikely to be outmatched in a dogfight. It's a flawed but fun entry in the theme that's still pretty affordable if you want to grab one for your own collection. Number 8 goes to set number 5918, the Scorpion Tracker. Selling for just $4 US in 1998, this small set represents so much of what I love about the Adventurers theme. I mentioned earlier that I love the Adventurers vehicles, and here we're treated to a simple but incredibly effective 1920s era car. In what was pretty novel for the time, this car can seat 2 minifigures side by side, which is made possible by the use of part number 30149, which made its debut in this theme. The minifig included here is the theme's hero himself, Johnny Thunder. His instantly recognizable look basically needs no introduction, and his face print projects an effortless confidence. Topping off his memorable appearance is his trusty Australian slouch hat. For lack of a better word, it's just cool, and it gives a nod to the Indiana Jones fedora without copying it directly. Along with the car, we're given a handful of tools, a map, a rifle in case things get nasty, and 2 scorpions. The set's small size and simplicity are really the only things keeping it from being higher on this list, but it's a great entry. Enjoying this ranking so far? Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes of Retro LEGO and other LEGO-related content. At number 7, we have set number 2995, the Adventurer's Car. Now, I consider myself to be a pretty stalwart Adventurers fan, but this is a set that I somehow didn't know existed until recently. To my credit, it turns out that it is pretty rare. In the US, it was only sold in a bundle with the Adventurer's Tomb and the Johnny Thunder mini set, costing $18 for all 3. Though it's called the Adventurer's Car, it reads a bit more like a small truck, with an extended cargo bed in the back. There are 2 minifigs included here. The first is Dr. Charles Lightning, the brains of Johnny Thunder's archaeological team. I love Dr. Lightning's permanently surprised expression, as if all the action and adventure of this expedition is a bit more than he bargained for. His suspenders, bow tie, and pith helmet top off his look, and he's another first-class minifig that would go on to join Johnny on all of his future adventures. The next minifigure is a spooky skeleton stowaway. This floppy-armed specimen is suspiciously wearing the same headdress as Pharaoh Hotep. Also included here are a few choice accessories. Along with the usual digging tools and firearms, there's an old-fashioned movie camera with a printed film tile, both making their debut in this theme. The film print here depicts Johnny and Lightning at the entrance of a foreboding tomb. Topping this set off are a tiny working magnifying glass, another map tile, and one of my favorite Adventurer's accessories, the oversized backpack. This bag, also debuting with this theme, is fully functional and has room for a few accessories inside. I love how these sets were designed with maximum playability in mind, and we'll see that more and more as we progress in this ranking. Taking the number 6 spot is set number 5919, the Valley of the Kings. This was also known as number 3722, Treasure Tomb. The only difference is that the latter came in a golden plastic box, and the former came with a large plastic mummy container. We'll circle back to this awesome accessory in a little bit. In either case, this set was a fairly limited release, making this a harder one to come by. Selling then at $20, this set feels like what we actually wanted out of the Adventurer's Tomb from earlier. It's very similar, but upgraded in just about every way. For starters, the car here is actually a car, and a unique one at that. Rather than using the side-by-side cab, they opted to repurpose a tan sarcophagus piece for the chassis, giving this more the feel of a sports car. It's some seriously clever part usage, and though I prefer the 2-seaters, I applaud the creativity on display here. This side build houses a startling play feature that ejects a poisonous red snake when an uninvited guest pulls on this Technic pin. The tomb itself is not without its perils as well, since opening it triggers another booby trap. The brilliantly printed sarcophagus lid at the entrance, along with the winged sun and cartouche prints, gives this set an authentic touch. Once you're inside, you're treated to the sarcophagus itself, containing another skeleton donning an Egyptian headdress. The minifigs in this set are all familiar to us now, aside from Baron von Baron's pilot helmet being swapped out for his more standard pith helmet. As one who only recently discovered this set as an adult, it charmed me and earned an honorable spot on this list. Landing at number 5 is Desert Expedition. This one is the most confusing to catalog because it actually has 3 different product numbers and 2 different titles. 5948 and 2879 were both titled Desert Expedition, while number 5909 was called Treasure Raiders. The only difference I can spot between them is that 2879 came packaged with the previously mentioned plastic mummy container, and the others didn't. My brother had this set as a kid, and his version came with this mummy. Luckily, he still has it, and he was kind enough to let me borrow it for this video. This storage container was such a creative way to add value to this set, and we often incorporated it into our play. Setting you back $20 in 1998, this set is a high-octane adventure just waiting to happen. The villains are given their most intimidating ride yet in this black armored muscle car. These guys clearly mean business here, and they'll stop at nothing to be the first to reach the Ragao Ruby. Conversely, it's the good guys' turn to get a plane, and boy do they fly in style. At first glance, you'd be pretty justified in thinking this is the villain's plane, with those aggressive shark prints covering the engine and its generally shabby appearance. But I think it reveals a bit more about the personality of its pilot, Harry Kane. This rough and rugged mercenary looks a tad unhinged, but his unmatched skills in the air make him an invaluable member of the adventurers' team. Aside from Harry Kane, we're already well acquainted with the other 4 minifigures included, with the notable absence of Johnny Thunder. The side builds here are small, but add a lot of dimension to this set. A classic Lego palm tree looms over the adventurers' latest camp and dig site, containing another instance of this brilliantly printed sarcophagus. Though the set is small, it really packs a punch and gives endless opportunities for heart-pounding action. At number 4, we have set number 5938, Oasis Ambush. Originally retailing at $8 US, this set is just the perfect marriage of simplicity and playability. Situated in a secluded desert oasis, this tiny tomb topped with a brick-built jackal is just picture perfect. The printing on the side panels and blue accents really make this set pop. Built right into the jackal's body is a black chest, hiding its treasures in plain sight. But best of all, pulling on this spear activates an endlessly repeatable play feature that gently lifts the lid of this tomb, granting access within. Inside, we'll find a skeleton donning a yellow headdress, but he must have been a bit lower ranking because there's no printing to be had here. The other minifigs included here are Johnny Thunder and Sam Sinister, getting ready to ambush our hero and take the spoils for himself. It may not be the largest or the most technically impressive set on the list, but its execution just knocks it out of the park, and it fully earns its number 4 spot. Moving on to number 3, we have set number 5958, The Mummy's Tomb. Costing $30 at the time, this is where the adventurer sets start to get truly elaborate. The smallest of what I consider to be the big 3 in the adventurers line, this set is a total blast. Tumbling pillars, perilous death traps, and a surprise visit from Pharaoh Hotep himself are in store for anyone who dares to disturb his resting place. The cartouches, winged sun, and Pharaoh's curse prints are all put to great use here in a set that is as great to look at as it is to play with. It even includes a set-exclusive red variant of the sarcophagus lid. I have to give major props to the car included here. I think this is easily a contender for the best vehicle in the line. It just looks so cool with its low-riding frame and its side-mounted sexton. The set comes with 4 minifigures, all of whom are familiar faces to us, and a bevy of the regular accessories we've grown accustomed to. There's just nothing to complain about here. This set is so much fun. The runner-up is set number 5978, Sphinx Secret Surprise. Hitting shelves at $50 US, this set is probably the most recognizable as a landmark of ancient Egypt. Under the brilliantly brick-built Sphinx, the Rhaegau ruby sits in broad daylight, baiting treasure seekers into a trap. This leads to the set's primary play feature and the secret surprise that the title suggests. Giving a flick to this lever near the rear of the statue will send Pharaoh Hotep flying out of the entrance, which doesn't turn out great for whoever's standing there. And if that wasn't enough, this tall pillar adjacent to the Sphinx is ready to topple on its unsuspecting victims. But if you survive, there's a reward in store. The raised base plate, unique to this set, gives plenty of opportunities to dig up buried treasure, and there's no end to what you can hide down there. One of my favorite inclusions here is the campsite, featuring this set-exclusive cloth tent and a campfire setup. Mine has definitely seen its share of adventures, but it's still just as functional as ever. The minifigs included here are all familiar faces except for one newcomer, Miss Gale Storm, the brave journalist of the adventurers' crew. You may have noticed by now that all the good guys have Storm-related names, and it's a clever little Easter egg, even if it's pretty obvious. Miss Storm makes use of one of the few female face prints from the 90s, and her appearance gives off an air of confidence and competence. Also included here is another great entry in the line of adventurers' vehicles, in what I call the camera car. This slick-looking ride has a side-mounted camera that's perfect for capturing the group's adventures. A couple of neat side builds top off this set. A uniquely all-black sarcophagus contains a skeleton with an equally unique white headdress, and finally, a crate with a little map-studying workstation finishes us off. This set is just awesome, and is pretty much essential for any collector of this theme. And taking the top spot is set number 5988, Pharaohs Ruins. Hitting the market at $80 US, this set was on the wish list of just about every 90s kid. I'll say it, it's a masterpiece, and one that I only recently was able to get my hands on in a miracle deal. The enormous front facade is gloriously detailed with 4 large set-exclusive hieroglyphic prints. The designers completely outdid themselves with these, and the authenticity they offer is just so impressive. Another instance of the winged sunbreak and a gray sarcophagus lid adorn the top of the structure, along with a handful of classic dark gray parrots. The entryway is topped with a menacing row of teeth, just daring any would-be grave robber to enter. Once inside, we are bombarded with an absolute barrage of booby traps, emphasizing that these ruins are not for the faint of heart. If you make it past those, Pharaoh Hotep has one last trick up his sleeve. Using a surprisingly powerful magnet brick, spinning this revolving door will snatch the Regau ruby before anyone can lay hands on it. I mean, how much fun can you handle in one set? But we're not done yet. 2 vehicles are also included. The first is this amazing truck, laying in wait to haul away the spoils of the adventure. This is another contender for my favorite automobile of the bunch. It has that classic Raiders of the Lost Ark look to it, and just firmly places you in the era. The other vehicle included is an equally impressive hot air balloon, piloted by none other than the inimitable Harry Kane. Complete with a fuel tank and netting on the top, this literally takes the high adventure of this series to a whole new level. There are a staggering 10 minifigures included here, 3 of them skeletons, and the rest old acquaintances. What more can I say? This set is one of the best LEGO sets of all time, and my personal favorite in the desert sub-theme. Well, now that I'm almost out of breath drooling over this series, it's your turn to pipe in. What's your ranking of this beloved theme? Let me know in the comments below, and leave a like if you enjoyed taking this journey with me. And until next time, never lose your sense of adventure.